Thursday, the Thanksgiving edition. Like our posts in all of our social media and the website are showing this is a pre-recorded show, so we're recording this Wednesday night, and we're playing it for you guys Thursday. So for those folks that are in the firehouse that are working tonight or on Thanksgiving, thank you guys for what you're doing. Those guys that are working with some seniority and letting the younger guys stay home with their family, that's awesome. Thank you guys for that. I can tell you as the new guy, the older guys like my lieutenant Bobby, when he does that kind of stuff, it really does mean a lot for us younger guys. So thank you. Just a quick show. We wanted to put something out there and to say hi and to have a brief conversation. For you guys, if you are working or if you're bored on Thanksgiving after everybody leaves, there's something to watch. So here we go. We're just gonna kick it around the horn real quick. Like I said, probably 20-30 minutes, and jump back out of here so we can go spend some time with our family. So we'll kick it over to Trevor and hear what he's thinking for tonight, and we'll keep going on around there.
All right, brother. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Just to echo your comments too. Thanks to everybody who's whether it's by choice or by schedule, you're working to keep us all safe, especially on the Thanksgiving holiday, and not just in the fire service, but also our law enforcement, our dispatch folks, our folks working in the hospitals, and especially our military serving domestically and overseas. So there's a lot of people who are spending Thanksgiving away from their families. And we've all done it many times, and I'm just blessed right now, barring any crazy catastrophes, to be able to spend as many as I spent away from home, to be able to spend the ones at home. And to your point, Ben, I was in the firehouse a couple hours ago, and went back to see the crew. And traditionally, what we do is we're a small department here, obviously, so we provide meals for our fire department, our ocean rescue folks, and our police department who are on duty. And since I've been here, at least, we've been fortunate to go to this couple different places that create an entire Thanksgiving meal, and all they got to do is reheat it. So I went and picked that up earlier today, or earlier this afternoon, and delivered it. And I go in the back door of the fire station in the living quarters, and there's shit everywhere. I mean, there's freaking shrimp, fish, onions. I mean, I'm looking, and they're making homemade ceviche, which I'm like, oh man, this is good. But they didn't have one of those little juice squeezers for the limes that they needed for it. And they're like, Chief, do you have a juice squeezer? I'm like, no, sorry, fresh out, but I'll go see what we got. So these guys are taking every freaking implement and tool they can to try to squeeze these limes. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm going to have, if they don't, get food poisoning, probably if this fish is bad, then I'm going to wind up with a whole crew in the ER with like cuts and stitches tonight. But they were having a great time. They certainly appreciate the fact that we provide them a meal on that day. And same thing. A lot of the guys who've had the opportunity to be senior in the fire department for a little bit, and I have a relatively young workforce. They're trying to let the people with younger families spend some time. They'll rotate through. So it's just really neat to see some of the things that are going on in the firehouse and that bond that they've established. So I'm really proud of them for that. And then, we just got kind of BSing a little bit because, like I said, I came back off duty to drop the dinner package off to them, and I got to tell them about some of the times in Ocean City, things that we would do, whether it would be, in the afternoon before or after we'd eat, we played dodgeball in the engine bay, which never worked out well. We didn't have a baseball with us, so of course, and I guess the statute of limitations is up, and Chuck and Chrissy won't get too pissed now if they actually hear this, but we'd make a softball out of all the medical tape in our cabinet, essentially, and using broomsticks and playing stickball on the front ramp and hitting the windows of Quiet Storm, there at Station 3. So all those things where we look back and just had a really, really good time on Thanksgiving. Even through the times when we didn't really have the support of the upper echelon, where they wouldn't even let us come midtown briefly to have a meal together, and we would rotate people through. So, okay, hey, this station come up, and we would cook. And fortunately, I don't know how it still is up there for you three guys, but a lot of the churches would drop food off. And just tell you a real quick story. For years and years and years, we would always plan whether we were going to fry a turkey or do something. We plan a big meal for the holidays, and typically, at 74th Street, we go ahead and cook everything up and try to feed the whole crew. And when I was younger in my career, I noticed that the churches and some of the community groups would very often drop all this food off, and we had more food than we could ever eat, ever possible. So where I was the junior man of the department for 9 years, after a couple of years, I'm like, well, there's no sense bringing food on Thanksgiving because we're just going to have all this stuff. That was the 1 year, and I don't remember why, that none of the church groups or anybody else brought food to the firehouse. And thank God 7-Eleven was open at 120th Street, because that can of SpaghettiOs was probably one of the best Thanksgiving meals I had, because there was nothing else to have. But it's good to see those traditions continue, and I'm interested to hear what's going to go on. Not only in Salisbury and Baltimore, but also collectively in Ocean City. For tomorrow with the crews that are working. So with that, Bobby, what you guys got going on tomorrow?
I'm off work, so I've got family going on. So we're doing they did a nice thing where they're doing $50.
You muted yourself.
Sorry. I'm not doing anything tomorrow. I'm not working. So I work on Friday. So they're doing a really cool thing where they're taking $50 from our morale fund and giving it to each shift. So on Friday, we're all going to get together as a shift and do our dinner. So
that's cool.
I think, what I think I want to do is just talk about, what I give thanks for. And, I give thanks for like-minded brothers and sisters out there. I give thanks for people that really think that this is all worth it. I've 30 some years in the fire service, and I love what we do. Don't regret a single day of it. I'm so glad I've been doing it and am doing it. And there's lots of other guys and girls out there that feel the same way. I know that we work with some people that don't feel so strongly about what we do, but we have to learn to work around that, to continue to push this ball forward and go from there. So I give thanks for everyone. You know what I mean? Trevor used to always talk about us recharging our batteries when we go to Wichita or FDIC or wherever, where, drills at work are like 80% of the people don't want to be there. And then drills at FDIC, 80% of the people want to be there. And that there's like-minded people that just make you feel better about what's going on in the fire service. And I'm really thankful for that. And I want to talk about what I'd like to be thankful for. And that is for us to continue to push forward, to be aggressive interior fire departments that serve the oath that we gave. And, I think that there's a lot of people out here to help us get us in the right direction, including Mike, Trevor, Ben, all of you guys. And there's many, many more out there, trying to push this thing forward. You cannot solve a trapped person's problem from the outside of a building. You just can't. You cannot stop interior damage from the outside of a building. You just can't. And so what I want to give thanks for is for the fire service to recommit to when it is the right thing to do, to go in and do what we do. And so that's what I want to give thanks for. But I give thanks for the people that are pushing that agenda forward. It happens all the time. We have our setbacks, obviously. But I'm really happy for, recently we gained Mike, and, Trevor was a tremendous asset to us when he was in Ocean City. It was just a great instructor and a great person, and had a passion for what we do. And, Mike is exactly the same way. And Ben's come in early, and Ben's, putting all this together for us too. And Ben's trying to get together. And actually, Ben, we'll talk about you doing the Delmarva fire convention training. That's awesome. So I saw your pick for that.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. Mike's doing it with us too.
Yeah, Mike's doing it too. Yep. So those are all really, really good things going on around us. And, I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful that my wife's okay with me being a firefighter and all the stuff that comes along with it, and I'm thankful for just about everything. I mean, I don't regret anything I've done in my life, in the fire service, and I'm really glad I did it. So, and I thanks for people watching and kind of checking these shows out and trying to pick up some other nuggets and stuff. That's great too. So, Mike, what do you got to say there before you're on a call?
Well, I feel like I hit the trifecta with this one because you guys gave me a lot of ammo. But I'll start with being thankful for guys like you and guys like the ones I serve with up here. They make the job. You know, when you get in the job, you start to, of course, you know, when we get in, we start to think, well, you know, we're going to change things. We're going to really go out there and help people all the time and make a massive difference in their lives. And we do a lot of that. But as you go along, you start to realize that this job becomes more and more about the people that you're serving beside. And, you know, they grow to become your family and you go through life with them, watching each other grow and being a part of each other's experience. And that, I think, is the true beauty of this job, is that you have a lot of like-minded individuals around you, and you get to share throughout the beginning and all the way through retirement. And you know, I'm thankful for that, and guys like you. You know, I'm also thankful that I'm off tomorrow on Thanksgiving, even though I'm working tonight. But I get to reap the benefits because, of course, I get to be home tomorrow with the family. But tonight I'm here with the boys, and not only that, we're having a big Thanksgiving dinner. So I get it here and I get it at home. So it's going to be a good holiday weekend. And in true fire department fashion, kind of piggybacking on what Trevor said, there's always the fire department annex. So with a big meal coming tonight, you know, one of the guys decided that he was going to bring in all the fixings, but the potatoes he left out. So he brought in instant potatoes. So he's taking a beating tonight here at this firehouse, and there's rumors that the potatoes are going to be swapped out with actually instant oatmeal, and to see if he knows the difference. So we're going to have probably a big bowl of instant oatmeal showing up for the potatoes, just to drive the point home that you don't half-ass anything, even Thanksgiving dinner. So,
Does he still get the Happy Meal with the toys too?
He put it this way: he's not a chef, but it was his night, and he drew the short straw, and now he's going to be sitting inside the wolf's den here as we progress forward with this meal here in about an hour. So I feel sorry for him. He's not going to be very happy. But that's what it's all about, man. And I'm really thankful for that, because you know, I wasn't sure what this job was going to be when I first got involved with it, and I was hopeful it was about camaraderie and teamwork, and you know, even more so thinking that we were going to make big changes and drastically impact people's lives every day, and we do a lot of that. But again, like looking back over the years, you know, I don't remember all the fires. I don't remember the calls. You know, of course, there's always those few that stick out and stick with you because of the magnitude of them. But I recall the memories with the guys and the things we did both at work and outside of work, and how we've kind of grown up together and shared so many things. And that's always been, you know, a fireman's leaning post, so to speak. You know, obviously, you know, they have their significant other at home, but you know, the sharing and the consoling always goes on in one way or another, whether it be through humor or even tears. It goes on with you know, with the crews, you know, with your own crews at work. So I'm thankful all the way around, man. It's going to be a good holiday weekend.
And Mike, just to kind of tag on to you a little bit, because I want to get Ben's perspective on some things too. You know, sometimes the holidays are a rough time for people in general for a variety of different reasons, and you know, we're all very fortunate and grateful to be able to spend some time with our families, whether it's the firehouse family or the, you know, family at our street address. But you know, always trying to keep people in mind too, because everybody's struggling with something. I know you know, we go through everything with each other, from you know, the birth of children to, marriages, divorces, death, everything. So people are in different cycles and different times, different places. So I always want to make sure that we don't forget, some of the widows and kids too, because that's a very challenging time of year for them. And I know, from, the people we've lost that collectively that we know, sometimes the Firehouse family has to reach out to those families too. So I want to make sure that, if anyone's in that position, that we always, reach out, especially around the holidays, because that can be a really, rough time. And I kind of think back a little bit. What made me think of it in general was, just some of the people in not only back home in Maryland, but also down here, but also with Alan Schweitzer, who we lost a few years ago. And I had looked at I found this pocket knife that he had given me as a Christmas gift some years ago. And then, of course, I'm like, oh, wow, his grandkid, his kid, and then also his wife, obviously. So, we need to raise a glass to those folks, but also, look at that extended ring of the fire service family around the holidays. And one of the greatest things that my mom still lives up in Ocean City, and she just turned 87 years old. So, still feisty, does all this stuff. But when it snows at her house, I'm 1,100 miles away. There's not much I can do, but I know in a heartbeat I can call anybody, any one of my brothers, whether it's the three other guys on this screen or other people up there, and say, hey, would you mind just clearing her sidewalk, something of that nature. So, very, very grateful for, even though I've been gone for a little over 5 years, to still have that amount of brotherhood and that amount of connection. That and we do that for each other regardless. So I think that's an important fact to consider, and especially a little bit not to bring things down at all, but look at the mental health aspect as well. Everybody's going through something somehow, somewhere, whether it be real or perceived, major or minor. So this is kind of the time of year too, especially around the firehouse. You take a little bit of extra care with each other. Some of the guys and gals might be hurting a little bit. They might be away from their families. They might have something going on. So show them a little bit of grace. I know we like to break balls and bust chops around the firehouse, and that's all well and good. That's part of our, that's part of what we do. But also just realize that, some folks might be struggling with some things around the holidays, and just lift them up a little bit. So, but Ben, what do you got going on for Thanksgiving?
Well, just to finish, put a little asterisk next to your last comments, and not to take anything away from that.
That looks like a D. An asterisk is like this.
Well, it's all backwards.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. That's it. They get a little grace unless they bring instant potatoes to Thanksgiving dinner.
True. That's the line in the sand right there.
Yeah.
Instant potatoes. I mean, come on, seriously.
Yeah. I was funny story about that real quick. I was either the covering for an officer or I was the acting AC one day in Salisbury. Went over to one of the firehouses for dinner, and they made pork chops and all this. And they're like, we'll save some money and use these instant mashed potatoes. And they were terrible. And I told them, I said, don't you ever make instant mashed potatoes if I'm coming over for dinner again. This is horse shit. And I said, you guys should have just thrown the box in the trash. And in fact, I think they had 2 boxes and I threw the other one away. I said, well, you guys won't eat this shit again. But just to kind of bring it back in and reel it back into for a little Thanksgiving, I am extremely thankful, and I've told these guys this multiple times, just to have this opportunity to be here. As the unofficial IT guy for Strike the Box training, but just to have the opportunity to sit here and have these conversations with you guys and the stuff that I've learned and the time that we've been doing this, I'm extremely thankful for that. And the fact that now I get to, this is my job, this is my career, is to be an Ocean City firefighter paramedic has been awesome. I had said years ago when I was going back to work in the schools after a busy summer that it was increasingly difficult every year to go back to school, not because of I wanted to stay in Ocean City and keep going to drunks at 3:00 in the morning, but because of missing the people. I only worked with them 3 months out of the year, but the relationship that I had and built with those folks in the firehouses is completely different than the relationship that I have with the people I worked with in school. And it has to be different, right? I mean, we're not the job is completely different between the two, so it has to be different. So to now be able to come to work every fourth day and to work with these people has been just an absolute blessing. And the support that I've gotten from my wife, my family, my in-laws, from everybody that is around me, making that change, going from working in a school for 14 years, giving that up, walking away to start over in a new profession has been phenomenal. So I'm extremely thankful for that opportunity. And again, to be able to work with you guys. So that's what I'm thankful for. And I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't be happier with where I ended up and what I'm doing. So big thanks to you guys for being a big part of that. So that's all I got.
Well, and Ben, real quick, one of the things I'm also thankful for is that we're almost to the month of December, and that mustache you got working, all due respect, but are you? I'm kind of questioning whether or not you're allowed within 100 yards of a school or a Chuck E. Cheese at this point.
No, thankfully, Chuck E. Cheese's are going out of business, so that's good. And I'm not allowed within that, a certain radius of schools. And my wife allows me to grow it for 30 days, and that's it.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You ever hear my Timmy story about that, Trevor? So my younger, who's now 30, is autistic, stays with us at the house, and my wife hates mustaches, beards, the whole 9 yards. So one year I did the no shave November for my mustache, and she was furious with me. And she's like, "You're never doing that again." I said, "All right." So I take Timmy to work. He works at the local pizza place here a few days a week. And I take him to work and I say, "Hey, Timmy, you want to do no shave November?" He said, "Yeah, Dad, I want to do that." So we were doing it together, so she couldn't say anything. But
which Bobby, by the way, your mustache looked amazing.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay.
I know.
Good. It's right there by your forehead hair there, Ben.
That's messed up.
Yeah, hey Ben, maybe you can cut and paste.
I'm good. I'm not that good. No, but there was a Bobby, you posted it. There was a great picture of you and Timmy at the end of it, and you had some quality. You and Timmy both had some quality no shave going on.
I almost looked like a fireman for a minute.
Yeah, they make that just for men stuff to get all the gray out of there, I hear. So
I'm good with it now. That's a new style now.
It's the only place I can grow hair.
Wow. Thanks for sharing, Mike.
That's a little more information we needed.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to haunt my dreams tonight, Mike.
Right. Oh, man.
Cool. Well, Mike, stay safe there in Baltimore City. Trevor, you stay safe there in Florida. Ben, you in Salisbury.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful evening and a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. And no cooking turkeys in the garage.
Yeah.
If you're frying them.
No instant mashed potatoes here, mister.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers, guys.
Be safe.
Cheers,
Happy
boys.
Thanksgiving.